Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. If you want to follow along, we will be in the last verse of the first chapter of James, James 1, verse 27. James writes these words: Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction and to keep himself unspotted from the world. James has, this chapter has been about temptation mostly. And then he finishes by listing for us some things that we can do to avoid the trap of temptation. And here he says pure religion. And then he defines pure religion. He says pure religion, undefiled before God, is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, to keep himself unspotted from the world. So he gives us three elements of pure religion: take care of the orphans, take care of the widows, and keep himself unspotted from the world. The two first elements, let's take those together. Orphans and widows. There are all types of ways that we are to minister to widows and orphans. And not don't need to go, I don't think, into specifics of how we do that. All kinds of ways: calls, visits, making sure orphans, as much as we can, are no longer orphans. Those kinds of things. But I think there's an even bigger umbrella that those two fall under. I think if we say, if we limit it to just orphans and widows, we miss the mark here. I believe the issue is even bigger, is that we have compassion. And so he uses two of the most notable groups of those who would need compassion and ministry, the fatherless, the orphans, and the widows, to tell us that that true religion reveals itself by having compassion on those who are in need, whatever that need may be. And again, we can, don't think really this is the time or the format to just delve into all the ways that we can take care of orphans or widows or show compassion. Just, we know some of them. Food pantries, giving people a ride when they're not able to get themselves to the doctor. There's all kinds of ways we show compassion to others. And then the final thing that method of describing pure religion is keeping themselves unspotted from the world. And what he means by that is we don't allow false beliefs or false religion or the things of this world to creep in and affect our religion, our relationship with God. We don't get so caught up in the ritual and the ceremony that we overlook the Holy Spirit and the worship of God. That we guard our morals and our ethics, that we don't get tangled up into things of this world. We stay separated from the affairs of this world. And he says those are three characteristics of pure religion. He said if we're busy practicing those three, he says you probably won't have time to be falling into temptation. I'm reminded of the story in my first church. It was a fella sitting there, and he said, "What's wrong with kids today is rocks." And I think everybody in the room looked at him like he was crazy. "What do you mean rocks?" He said if they were out in the yard moving rocks from one side of the yard to the other, they'd be too tired to get into all this trouble. I think if we were busy taking care of the fatherless, the orphans, the widows, and keeping ourselves morally clean, we wouldn't have time for some of the foolishness that we get caught up in. Think about it. Have a great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning.